Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for me to unload. I think I've disclosed this before in my previous videos, but to get everybody up to speed, I have been at war with these grooming gangs for basically what amounts to 6, 7 years solid. And it all started from a post from Tommy Robinson. This is like way back in the day when I still used Facebook. And I had all my accounts linked together. So if I'm watching something on YouTube, I can share it with my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram if I wanted to, but like I kept that separate. Like that's what I did, right? I just shared it because I'm like, oh, this is a terrible thing. Maybe we should bring more awareness to it. Then I left it alone, and when I came back to it, people started like, looking at me weird. They started harassing me, started like, bothering me and shit. And this one douchebag individual would just come up to my house anytime he felt like it and just rev his car. Like he would especially wait till after I finished, long distance jogging. I'm like tired, and then he would just sort of rev his car and be like, "Oh, it's no big deal. It's no big deal. It's part of the city life. It's part of the city life." Um, we're all dealing with the same shit, by the way. Whether you're trying to see a doctor at the hospital, or you can't get food at the food bank because all these fucking scammers, these Punjabi rat scammers, Ratjabis, the Pakis too, they're scamming you out of your food bank, scamming you out of your fucking, personal safety. And now you got this like, Ratjabi cop coming at me saying, "Oh, I'm the problem." Well, think about it like this: if I'm the problem, right, then why is it that this Jaskarn guy gets so much protection, that it goes without saying that this man is literally the most prolific pedophile child rapist we've seen in our lifetime, bar none. And he's my age. My age. And yet these fucking animals feel emboldened to come after me. It's time to spill the beans. The real reason, too, that they won't leave me alone is also because when they started bothering me, obviously I didn't know how to like deal with it at first. I was just angry. I'd yell at them. I was throwing like rocks at their fucking house and shit. They wouldn't leave me the fuck alone. Every time I popped my head out the window and shit, and even to this day. And we all know the reason why. The reason why is that they have family members, distant relatives, who rape kids. Rape them. Okay? Make no mistake. They have an entire family unit that is willing to facilitate this and cover it up. Cops, security guards, taxi cab drivers, like any occupation that you find these fucking, dipshits in, you're gonna find a lot of crime, a lot of corruption, and most importantly, a lot of child rape. And I need to emphasize this because this Jaskarn guy, right? He shared these videos of him molesting and assaulting these children, right? And he put it out on the internet. Now, Elon Musk, being the guy that he is, kept that on X. So it only took a court order for them to take it down. But I believe that there are, according to Kanon and his video, they most likely will get taken down eventually. But there are videos of him doing these acts. And make no mistake, he is the one, Jaskarn Jaj, the Sikh child pedophile rapist. He's the one who's filming this, right? And he has help from his little, Sikh cousin who goes to that high school and shit. Like Kanon went out of his way to make sure that he's anonymous, remains anonymous, and like you got to respect the journalistic integrity of these young gentlemen, because I would have aired that shit out easily, man. I would have aired that shit out because it's like, think about what a threat that young man is to society as a whole. Because not only did he help his pedophile cousin, brother, whatever, right, beat the charges, get a 4-year sentence for like some of the most heinous shit that you will actually see on camera, actually see it. And I haven't even seen it. That's the fucked up part. I haven't even seen it. And you want to know why I know it's true? It's because every single time this guy's playing these videos in his documentary and shit, he's blurring it out, but you can actually see it happening, play out in real time. Hear the voices, see the bodies moving, past all the blurs and shit. Nah, that ain't fake, man. The gunshot wound, that ain't fake. The tattoo on a young miner's body, what is it, Jaskarn's name or something? Jackie? Yeah, that's not fake. And you want to know why it's not fake? Because this guy had this documentary up online, dangerous sexual predator, as he calls himself, for years. Years. The family was begging the courts to take it down. Oh, my daughter, they're being exposed to this kind of like barbarism, this kind of like abuse. And for years, nothing happened. And the reason why I'm bringing it up is because the videos, yeah, buddy. Oh, buddy, they got views. They got around. They got around. We got a lot of sick fucks, not only in their religion and race, but outside of it. People who are helping facilitate this sexual abuse of young, you know, barely even teenaged women. Like these are junior high, 10 to 15-year olds being sexually abused on a near daily basis by this fucking gun-toting, drug addict, Sikh retard who, like, for the life of me, like, I still don't understand why I'm the problem when you guys, and this is just one instance, right? So that's what I was saying about these vigilantes that would go out and, get justice for our, you know, youths. Oh, a lot of them, whether they're international students, whether they've lived in the country a long ass time, and even like some of the other Sikhs are getting in on it. There's this one Sikh, I forget his name. I think it's Kalapa or something like that, some like Sikh name, and he like lives out on like some country road in Mississauga and shit. I think I don't know, just like some remote ass like farmer path, whatever, right? And he puts the setup to his house, and he speaks the language, everything like fully, all that shit. So it's like these guys, they get into this house, and guess what he uses as a bait? I kid you not. I'm not making this up. I'm not making this up. He uses this decoy underage look. I don't think she's actually underage. I think she's just like whatever, a decoy. And she's white. You gotta call it like you see it. You gotta call it like you see it, because all the time people are gonna tell you that you're racist, or you have a prejudice or whatever, and then shit like this happens, and you're like, couldn't this have been prevented? Isn't this preventable? Like, if you call people out on their bad behavior, most likely they're going to try to correct it unless they feel like there is no consequences to their actions. And this is what I deal with on a daily basis. I'm dealing with people who try to game the system, use it to their advantage, um, fantasize about raping children on a near daily basis. I live near an elementary school, man. Every single time it's lunchtime, or anytime these kids go outside to go play, because I can just go outside of my parents' house, walk out, look outside from across the street, and see, if the kids are out for recess, lunch, this and that. Like, if I really wanted to. I'm not saying I do that on a daily basis, but like every single time, right? It's lunchtime. It's end of school. They're trying to impress. They're trying to impress them. And you gotta point this behavior out, because people are gonna say that you're overzealous for pointing this out, for trying to protect kids, that you don't need to do this, that you have to like whatever, right? Like you're in your emotions, as they say. And then they have to deal with the victims after the fact. You have to understand that after the fact. So after someone gets raped, after someone gets assaulted, after someone gets stalked and harassed, then they come in. That's why, because of their lackadaisical nature, it's their fault. I shouldn't be having to do this, but it's their fault. Their negligence. They want to turn every single place that they fucking inhabit into the shithole that they crawled out of. And make no mistake, they have done so. Yes, there's evidence of this. Birmingham. Um, there's this one in I don't know. I think actually no, I don't think that's Dearborn, Michigan. But like they're just like, crowding up, swarming up, wearing masks, intimidating people, saying to like, yo, it's us versus you. And whether it's like, the Islamic, grooming gang, or the Sikh grooming gang, as they call themselves. I don't think they call themselves Islamic grooming gang. I think they're just Muslims that like use their religion as an excuse to like whatever, right? But like the Sikh grooming gang, and you have to understand that the Sikh grooming gang has ties to the like Sikh Brotherhood, to like the whole fucking Khalistan pedophile movement, where these fucking bitch ass cowards were more than content to stay in like first world countries, get the people's police that everyone pays taxes on to like accost people who are, oh, this person, they're a drug addict. She heard her testimony cannot be taken for like face value and shit, right? And that's the same kind of tactic that they used on this young woman when they were testifying against her in court. So make no mistake, this is a war. There is no concessions. There is no negotiations. They want to rape white Caucasian women. And I have a theory behind this. The number one theory is the lack of cohesion. So let's say they try to pull this shit in like in an East Asian country. Like those police officers, they're very well, how should I put this? They're very proactive in their procedures. So obviously the threat of violence, the threat of death is just too far and too great of a sacrifice to have. So what do they do? Oh, what's that? Refugees welcome here? There's people in this country who hate me and other people for pointing this out. And even though things will never change, it'll only get worse, we are honestly on the defensive, constantly to blame from everybody. Society is made to look at us and hate us for the things that we have to do. We have to do it. The cops won't protect the kids. They won't. They'll protect them after the fact. After the fact. After it happens. And in order for us to prevent children from being sexually assaulted, we have to point out the elephant in the room. Or in this case, the guy who doesn't want to fucking wear deodorant and like to rape kids, newly fucking landed immigrant, or whether he's fucking lived here for fucking years. It does not matter. It is part of their culture, and we need to separate ourselves from them in totality. We are not their friends. We are not their neighbors. We are not their relatives. Do not celebrate, any Diwali celebrations with these fucking dickweeds. All right? They want to play these games. They want to rape kids. All right. When the RSOs, the registered sex offender list, comes out, all of their names are going to be brought into the public forum. Everybody's going to know about it. Everybody's going to know about it. And they're scared to death of it because not only are there members of their fucking race and religion doing this at an alleviated rate, but the ones that just come in the country, like not even like a week, not even a week in the country, and they're doing this. And I have video evidence of this. I have saved it, and I'm specifically waiting to show my children this. That's right, my children. Want to know why? Because these things used to be available on YouTube. That's how I got them, right? If not some other video sharing website, but mostly from YouTube, right? And then YouTube's terms of service radically changed. It's almost coincidental how, and people will argue, oh, it's because of COVID, right? But it's all so convenient that it pretty much happened around the time that this guy was, basically being brought into like the public spotlight for everybody to see. He's like blowing up a gigantic ass BBC truck, BBC tank or whatever, and the explosion pretty much like baffles everybody. Why is he doing it? And all is he doing this, right? He's doing this naked. Yes, naked. Okay, on camera too. He's on camera doing this. And the messed up part about this story was that people knew who he was. So what he did was he had this like makeshift disguise, and he looked. When you see the pictures of this disguise, it looks like when people are trying to put on those like special effects for like I don't know, they're trying to like look like I don't know a goblin or orc in some like fantasy movie. So that's what he looked like, and of course they start filming it. He wants to show off for the camera. And he takes it off, and then this guy's like, why is this guy naked? And they're like, my kid's here. You don't need to be doing this, man. And yeah, it's just the weirdest fucking thing you've ever thought. Like, what is the point? Other than you're trying to show off to the BBC that A, you have money, and B, you're proud of your status as a sexual predator. Self-admitted. And this is why, whether it's these Pakistani grooming gangs, whether it's these Punjabi grooming gangs, which are pretty much synonymous, anybody out there who's debating whether or not the Sikhs had involvement in these grooming gangs, you're being naive, man. There's so many reports that are coming out, and it's funny how I'm such, I guess, an overzealous journalist in a way, where I'm pointing these things out as soon as it happens, and then the citizens, the video posters, whatever, in the United Kingdom, they're finding it out like months, like after the fact, sometimes even a year after the fact, and it's baffling to see how parallel our disappointment is with these cultures who failed not only to understand the depths of depravity that they're unleashing upon these kids. And I implore anybody out there to watch this documentary on Jaskar and Judge, made by Kanan. I linked it in my previous video, so I think it's just like whatever, right? Like I don't need to do it twice, but like just if you're curious about anything I'm saying, or like you think I'm talking pure shit, well, find out for yourself. It's far worse than anything I could have ever fucking imagined, and I'm telling you right now, this is a war, and we have to win. And the only way we can win is through separation and by exceeding them. So they want to brag about their numbers, but their numbers are inbred. They want to brag about their capabilities, but they are parasites. They cannot exist outside of the realm of the people who provide for them, basically the taxpayers. So if they work together to, let's say, for me, right? I'm causing a menace, as they would say, but I'm just doing that as a response to the behavior and the actions they take towards me. So apply that to young teenage girls, and you can see why the grooming gang problem has been swept under the rug for so long, because it's so convenient to just write somebody off and say, "Oh, look, this girl, she's doing drugs, she's skipping school, she's not a model student, right? She's not her testimony is questionable. She is, after all, a minor, right?" And then they beat off to it because, like I said, the videos that this fucking Jaskar Jaj put on the internet of these girls that he sexually assaulted, molested, etc., have been watched by millions and millions of people. I kid you not. And everybody, well, the people who are making the documentary were speculating that it was botted, and that could be true. But what could also be true, and this is the most frightening aspect about this, is those videos were trafficked. Yeah, man. Like, think about how long they've been out. How many people actually watched them, downloaded them? You're living in this kind of world, man, where you don't think you're at war, but you are.